What's going on, gamers? Hopefully everyone's day has went well. Mine surely has been going well. Got my workouts in, did all that. We got an interesting post here by Saltman from Japan. This is translated from Japanese. Basically sparking a topic that I think has really been very popular lately. Whereas it used to be where the PS5 Pro came up for anything or any type of performance or comparison, people would want to keep the console war still going with Series X, right? That would be something that they would bring up. But it seems that has been replaced by PS5 Pro and PC equivalent performance. And it is something to talk about. Definitely when you want to ask somebody getting new parts, because I'm not, I'm going to get a console, it's going to be a PS5 Pro with a brand new price. So it's going to be about, how much would it cost to get a PC that gives you equivalent performance to the PS5 Pro? Well, you're not screwing yourself out because you have to always upgrade on PC. Or you got to get more power supply if you're trying to get this, or you may need this type of motherboard. It's always something that's not fixed. So it just depends whether it's a laptop or it's a desktop. What are we talking about here? Desktop equivalency or laptop, right? Yeah, it's two different ways of comparing it because I myself like laptops. So he says the PS5 Pro is getting a price hike to 137,980 yen starting April 2nd, right? That's what's going on in Japan. That's going to be the price rate. But if you want to build a PC, he said, with equivalent performance to the PS5 Pro, he's just talking on what's going on in the market in Japan. It'll run you about 300,000 to 350,000 yen at the current market rates. That's how insane things are. And I wonder if he's including the monitor as well. It just depends on how he's comparing this. But either way, it's still double the price of a PS5 Pro. So if we do 750 now, we know that's going to 1500. If you do the 900, that's 1800. He's basically saying, because it's so ridiculous, you're going to be spending 1500 to $1,800, right? Just how ridiculous stuff is, and that is a lot. And that's the type of stuff we're talking about. But then people will say, yeah, that's true, but then you can do a lot more things on PC. Sure, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about what these other things you can do on PC because these are gaming discussions, and I see this being a huge thing. Like I've always owned everything. Like I told you guys, I've always been PC gaming, always been gaming on Nintendo, always been gaming on PlayStation and Xbox and Sega consoles back in the days, right? When Sega was kind of in the industry and, I kind of missed them being in there. But either way, since 1993, I've been gaming. So that's 33 years. Almost 34, honestly. Um, I started off on NES. Yeah, I was there from the beginning during that time. And I've owned every single console, and I have to tell you, like, the way that the industry is now is totally different because consoles are not even made like consoles anymore, to where, like, you look at this technology now and how close PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 6 is going to be to certain PC builds you see now that are just ridiculously expensive. Like, imagine somebody said, give me an RTX 5080 build with a ridiculous processor. And if you need a certain type of CPU to run that, and you need 32 gigabytes of RAM easily, and you're going to need the right type of motherboard for that. You're going to need the right type of power supply for that, and then you're going to need the right type of tower case for all that type of stuff. You know what I mean? Your network card, your mouse, your keyboard, your monitor to run all that. And when you really think about how much even an RTX 5080 costs just by itself, you're like, yeah, damn. And then the price of DRAM being 370, 400, $500, it's like at that point already, you just flew past it. And it shouldn't be that way. It's crazy. So that's what he was saying. It'll run you about 300,000 to 350,000 yen at the current market rate. And we're talking about new parts here. I'm not getting nothing used on PC. I wouldn't trust that. So if you want the GTA 6 PC version that won't be out for a while, or a high-end gaming experience, you should seriously stretch yourself out and grab a PS5 Pro before the prices go up. Well, that's what he's saying. I mean, that is common sense if you're thinking about GTA 6, or you're just thinking about being able to get that performance for the rest of the generation and maybe being able to stay on there for 3 to 4 years, because there are some people that will stay on consoles years after the next one launches. And PS5 Pro is not that bad to hold on to when you think about, okay, what if I want to build this type of PC starting today with that type of performance? And I was spending 1500. You're not going to be probably upgrading it for a few years. Whereas in PC, you do upgrade more often than consoles, because there didn't used to be anything called a mid-gen upgrade, right? It was just you got that console and that's what you had, and you had to carry that on for the longest. But you didn't think about all these specs back then. You literally just wanted to play as many good games as possible. That's what the gaming experience has always been about, which is why most people still have the PS5 base model and will stick with that. You see what I mean? Because as long as they can still keep getting those experiences, they just want to get on and play the game. Not everybody is like, oh, we got to look at this and this needs to be like this. It needs to be the highest specifications, or it needs to be the PSSR2 gameplay. I need my 60. Not everybody thinks like that. But that's something people have adapted to because they've noticed it and learned about it. But still, most people always go for the base models. It's like there's going to be a whole happy base playing Switch 2. And it is just like that. So he was like, just owning one PS5 Pro will legit make you happy as hell. Here's the thing. I think if people did have it and they didn't have to deal with that price and they were able to get that experience, who wouldn't take that? Yeah, it is going to make you happy. Just like the people who got base PlayStation 5s for $400, right? But look at the price now. It's like the people who got the PS5 Pro for $700 or $650, and then look at how much somebody's going to have to pay then. This is just the market, right? Like when food used to be a certain way, and how much you got to pay for food now. When phones used to be this much cheaper. When PCs and RAM used to be $100 to get 32 gigabytes of RAM, and that wasn't too long ago. Now it's like, what are you trying to make me play times 4 more? I'm paying a console price for RAM now, and it's like that's everywhere now, and it sucks, and it's bad, and it's not something that you point the finger at on one side. No, but the people that are the worst are those who have way more money than those other companies, and they don't want to subsidize. And as they sit up there having their price battles and not subsidizing towards each other, they screw over the consumer to be able to afford something. But not like the PS5 Pro at 700 or 750 wasn't a good deal. That's still an incredible deal with PSSR2 when you really think about what you were getting. So we're not just talking about equal parts, but equal performance as well. Because it doesn't necessarily always mean equal performance. Like you go get a PC on sale right now and then go get this other product for the same price, but does that mean you're going to get the same performance? No, man, it could be completely different. You go get a laptop for the same price as a desktop, but does that mean they're going to have the same performance? No. That's why I say it depends. Because if we're talking about used stuff, then yeah, man, you're talking about used parts in a custom desktop build. And I think what most people are talking about matching the PS5 Pro, it is from a desktop perspective. But I think laptop should be included too, because not everybody gets a desktop, and some people like to travel light. So this is kind of like what I want to talk about. And down here, Yukihiro says, that's exactly right. But on Amazon, it's been out of stock since March 26th, the day before the price increase announcement. For delivery, other online retailers seem to be out of stock too. So the tough part is that I have no choice but to hunt for physical stores. Yeah, for people who kind of want to get that out of the way, that didn't get that $650 deal, they didn't get it at $700, and that don't have a choice but to try to get it at $750 right now before that runs out, because it is going to fly away. And then you're just going to have to be hit with that $900 price. If you want to get a disk drive, yeah, that's thinking about that for a console. It's like, well, no. Not that that affects the base. Oh, because most people get the base thing. As always, the mid-gen is always something that's kind of like an optional hardcore luxury, though it's still ridiculous to see it go up by $150. I was thinking like 50 or something, but damn, man, they jumped 150. I'm still thinking about that because it's like, man, you had PSSR2 hype going. You had something to like say, I would like to be able to test this with this at 750 for a while and basically solidify that pro consumer position with that, because that was an insane, really good deal. But no, it just couldn't stay. And it's like, why? That's the only thing that's disappointing. And then, of course, lying, because I don't like the lying stuff. I don't want nobody come and lying to me talking about, we're secure for the rest of the year. And then within a month later, you jack up the price. Like, you just said that you weren't going to do that. So, yeah, that's the thing that gets to me. It's like, man, be straightforward. And maybe that person didn't decide that, because obviously they're not the one that decides the final decision. It's more of those up at the top. So, but yeah, I want you guys to let me know what you think about PS5 Pro PC equivalence price point, and how the topic of PlayStation 5 Pro versus Xbox Series X has just completely disappeared. Like, people aren't even putting them in comparisons like you saw on Digital Foundry, right? And like, even like some of like L's videos, one thing I like about him is he will put it in there, but it's mostly about PS5 to PS5 Pro jump. It's a bigger thing to focus on, and that you're just not getting the Xbox comparisons like you used to before. It is something that completely disappeared. And yeah, it does kind of suck, because I still want to see it, because I want to know the difference now. Not because it left it like that, but more like, yeah, but I still want to see it though, because I want to see the difference now. And who knows if they're going to be jacking up the price soon. Yeah, you never know in this insane generation. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe. As usual, keep on gaming no matter what platform you're on.